Well, the search is on tonight for a convicted sex offender. Dover police are looking for 51-year-old Ronald Scott. Scott is no longer living at the New Street address where he told officials he would be. Police say Scott is very dangerous.
The state has deemed Mr. Scott to be a Tier 3 sex offender, which is the highest risk sex offender that there is. He is a twice convicted sex offender. We feel that wherever he is residing, it is very important that the people that live in his neighborhood or in the area where he resides, that they know he is there and that they know there's a sex offender in the area.
Here's another look. If you have seen Ronald Scott, you are asked to call police. A local work release center is shutting down very soon. 42 staff and 180 inmates are leaving Wicomico County's Poplar Hill facility. Most of them will be going to the Eastern Correctional Institution, but some inmates are going to go to other prisons around Maryland. The state says the shutdown is to save money, and they also say that it is only temporary. America's top cops are shaking their heads over high-tech crime tonight. The FBI admits it's having a tough time tracking down hackers who sabotaged several big websites last week. Officials say they need a lot more money to find cyber vandals.
We'll never know in some cases who the subjects are, what the conspiracy consisted of, what the objectives were. We will be operating with basically primitive tools in a very high-tech environment.
The FBI investigated hundreds of cyber crimes 2 years ago. That number doubled just last year. Some tonight in government are calling on businesses themselves to make their own computer sites more crime-proof. Well, tonight, Shore residents are lining up against a plan that could end up costing them thousands of dollars. Governor Paris Glendening wants to require many septic system users to buy an expensive filter. Glendening says he just wants to protect water, but Lisa Scullin tells us tonight locals say they're the ones who need protection.
Frank Prettyman repairs septic systems for a living, and he's a Caroline County commissioner. For him, the latest legislation up for debate hits close to home. Judging by this packed hearing, he's not alone.
Caroline County is, unfortunately, one of the poor jurisdictions of the state, and we have failing sewer systems over there. There are high water tables.
One or more of those apply to every Shore County. Take Worcester. The gray on this map shows areas that would be exempt from the regulations. There's not much there.
Well, I'm not sure how much worse it could be than the map we saw of Worcester County. But I'm sure we'll probably see similar map proposals for other counties.
There's criteria to determine those designated areas. Areas plagued by failing septic systems, places with high nitrogen content in the soil, and coastal bay watersheds are just a few.
Dorchester County, which has already heavily regulated by land use laws like critical areas or non-tidal wetlands, this would be another layer of regulation.
This is the governor's proposal that's created all the controversy. So much, in fact, it was sent back to the Department of the Environment for changes. But this latest version isn't doing that much better.
I know that there are problems with septic systems, but I don't think that we're in a position where we can say because there's a problem in one area, everyone should be penalized.
Some say it's Fisteria hysteria all over again, and farmers once again get the short end of the stick.
You have farmers over there who are being double whammied, so to speak, with the manure situation, chicken house manure, and then they're all on septic tanks too, so they're getting a double whammy.
And local governments might have to saddle the cost of inspectors. The cost to homeowners could run in the thousands. The cost alone could give lawmakers plenty to talk about. Lisa Scullin, WBOC News, Annapolis.
A spokesman for the governor says this is a quality of life issue and that septic systems pollute our water. Well, if you end up having to buy that septic filter, the state may end up helping you to pay for it. Lawmakers are looking to speed up a 10% tax cut that's already been approved in Maryland, but isn't supposed to be phased in for a few more years.
I'd like to see us accelerate that income tax and get it fully implemented before this legislature and this governor finds a way to spend the money. If they don't have it to spend because we've given it back.
Also being debated tonight, doing away with the inheritance tax. Another bill would give $500 tax credits for money spent on gun safes and on trigger locks. Well, fuel prices are way up, in case you haven't noticed, and word is it could get a lot worse. Bobby Harley tells us tonight even the president is getting involved.
If you drive, you've probably started to feel the pinch at the pumps. really takes a bite out of my pocket, yes.
From Detroit to Chicago to Seattle and Los Angeles, the cost of gasoline is going up. But in the Northeast, the price of another kind of fuel has been sky high for weeks already. Home heating oil soared as much as 200% from a year ago, thanks to this winter's deep freeze and last year's cut in production by the countries that ship us oil. It's so bad, political and industrial leaders held an energy summit in Boston, and the president allocated more money to help low-income families cope.
I've directed my budget office and the Department of Health and Human Services to release right now the remainder of this year's funding for emergency heating assistance, about $125 million more.
But that won't help everyone who's hurting. Truckers claim the cost increase of diesel fuel has put some of them out of business. And if you think these prices are bad, well, get ready. The experts say it could get a lot worse.
As long as you have strong demand and limited supply, it creates upward price pressure.
Without some relief soon, it's a situation that could drive right into the summer travel months and the highest gas prices in years. Bobby Harley, CBS News, New York.
Well, it looks like voters will decide whether Salisbury gets a city manager. A press release from the mayor's office says there is an announcement on that tomorrow. Organizers are expected to announce they have enough signatures to force a referendum on the issue. Now, the release, as you can see, is on city letterhead. Mayor Barry Tillman admits that it was a mistake to use city employees, fax machines, and letterhead for this announcement. The announcement tomorrow is at the Chipman Cultural Center. One local school district is looking for a few good men and women tonight. There are 4 openings on the Board of Education there.
It's a pretty committed group of people who want to be on it, and you would have to be. It's a very demanding job to be on the Board of Education.
How demanding is it? Well, the job can take up to 10 hours a week of your time, and one of the 2 monthly meetings is in the evening, the other during business hours. Deadline for resumes on that is this Friday. It's P.O. Box 1146 Easton 21601. That's where to send those resumes. The governor makes the appointments based on Democratic Central Committee interviews. Here's Check on Wake Up Weather now with Bob.
Well, we're going to be much colder for the day tomorrow as temperatures only climb to around 40 or so. We're going to start off around 30 with a bit of a breeze, but abundant sunshine.
Still to come tonight at 11 o'clock, South Georgia buries its dead and starts cleaning up after a trio of tornadoes this week. The golden years are a golden chance for local businesses to hire top-notch help. And later on in sports, we'll pin down some top-notch wrestling highlights. Back in just a minute. Well, tonight, local businesses are looking for a new kind of employee. Retirees who are spending their golden years on the job instead of at the beach. Meredith Vinegar has more.
Bob English takes a lot of pride in his work at Dover's Walmart. He's not just an employee. He's part of a growing team of older Americans on the job.
I was born September 29, 1929. That makes me over 70.
As baby boomers approach the traditional retirement age of 65, companies will have a harder time finding younger workers to replace them. Over the next decade, the number of people over 45 will increase faster than any other age group.
So because of that, we're going to need a tremendous number of older workers to stay in the labor market.
Employers are catching on. In Ocean City, they're holding job fairs like this to attract older workers. Companies are looking for loyalty and stability.
We get solid, dependable, hard-working associates, very mature associates.
Good morning. Welcome to Walmart. I'm a people greeter back in Lawn Garden, and I meet a lot of people, and I enjoy talking to them, and I just like my job.
The key is for companies to attract more people like Brown.
Well, some of the things they can do is to offer flex time, because a lot of times older citizens don't want to work full-time schedules because they're maybe on pension or Social Security, but just for the employers to have flexible hours.
Yes, I have problems. I have arthritis. My foot hurts. My knee hurts. So on. But I keep going.
That's the kind of spirit keeping companies alive. Meredith Vinegar, WBOC News, Dover.
Oh, you'll find the accomplishments of Black Americans in a lot of places. Tonight in part 3 of our look at Black history, Mary Tyler shows us how one African American literally built a future for his family out of Caroline County land.
You're looking at the only surviving log cabin in Maryland to be built by a free black man before the Civil War.
James Webb lived in a difficult kind of world in the middle of the 19th century. On the other hand, it also created opportunities for the free black community, like James Webb. They could purchase land.
On his 54 acres, Webb used an axe. He cut down what's believed to be red oak and built this house by hand. Experts say he did a great job. You can see here how close the logs fit and how tight the joints are.
The cabin itself structurally has 3 components. It has the member logs, then it has what's called chinking. These are the slabs of wood that have been put between the member logs, and then finally it has what's called daubing. And the daubing historically would have been mud, maybe mixed with horsehair.
When he was finished, the family lived in this 18 by 14 foot house for the first 5 years without windows. That's because wood shrinks. So if you start with windows, they break.
At the end of 5 years, James Webb would have put his final doors on, the doors that you see over there. He would have been able to put his window in because it had stopped shrinking, and he would have put large boards to cover up the exterior of the logs themselves. And
it was that layer of boards and a final coat of plaster that kept this historical treasure secret for so many years.
We did not know that this was a log cabin until about the mid-30s, and my mother wanted some more light in this kitchen. So she finally talked us into doing something about it, and we proceeded to make a hole, and lo and behold, we found these logs.
Now that the James Webb cabin has been uncovered, the next step is to make sure it stays around for another 150 years. Mary Tyler, WBOC News, Preston.
It is Uncle Sam to the rescue in tornado-ravaged South Georgia tonight. Federal emergency management officials toured the area today. Estimates are 3 twisters that roared through here this week did $30 million damage. Officials reassured residents that money to rebuild would be quick in coming.
We got very quick response on the federal level, and we're doing our dead level best to get the resources here so that people can be comforted in the knowledge that they will have disaster relief as soon as possible.
Insurance adjusters are on the scene tonight helping victims with estimates. Meantime, funerals began for the 18 people who were killed. I lived in that area for a while, and I've never seen wackier weather than I saw in South Georgia.
That's true. You're right on the Gulf Coast, and you also have some mountains to your northwest.
Another nice one out there today. Did we break 60?
We broke 60, 62 in Salisbury. Many of our weather watchers coming in with 60s as well, and even 61 in Dover. Not tomorrow. I subtract 20 degrees from that. You're going to get about 42 in Salisbury, maybe 40 or so in Dover, and it'll be breezy, so that'll be adding to the chill. It's going to feel more like it's in the 20s than even the lower 40s. About 43 in Cambridge and Chincoteague, about 44 in Accomack. Here's the radar loop for the last 12 hours. You can see just a few sprinkles moving through the area during the evening hours. They're well out to sea. Snow showers from northern Pennsylvania through New York State into the Green Mountain State of Vermont and the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And a few showers off the coast of the Carolinas. For us, we have no returns on the radar, and we have virtually no clouds over us either. There are some clouds in the mountains and out in the Atlantic, and that's just about where they're going to be staying. We will, however, be having an increase in our clouds Thursday night into Friday, and Friday's going to be a different story. Right now, temperatures in the upper 30s and the lower 40s. With the wind, we have a temperature reading of about 34 in Salisbury, but just to the north of us in the 20s and in the teens. 46 degrees in Salisbury. That northwest wind at 12 makes it feel about 12 degrees cooler. Humidity at 54%. In Dover, it's 43 with the northwest wind at 17, makes it feel as if it's in the 20s. Barometric pressure rising rapidly, 30.18 inches of mercury. Our map for the weather watchers show them to be in the 40s. One of the warmer spots, Chincoteague, 47 degrees from Ginger Birch. Vernon, we have Henry at 44 degrees. By morning time, temperatures around 30. It'll still be breezy despite the sunshine. It'll feel cold. By midday, around 40. Still breezy, just a couple of fair weather clouds, but the thicker clouds starting to move in from the west. Those clouds will continue. By evening time, just a few high clouds, temperatures in the 30s. And then after that, the low pressure area, which is way, way, way out in the west, will be affecting us on Friday, maybe with some mixed precipitation, but mostly with rain. And it'll be mostly clear overnight for the rest of the hours. Temperatures around 30 by morning, northwest winds 15 and gusty. For tomorrow, a sunny but breezy day. Temperatures only in the low 40s. Northerly winds 15 and gusty. Then that mixed precipitation mainly in the northern and western sections of the peninsula on Friday. All of us having rain by Friday afternoon. May have a thunder shower early Saturday.
Okay, thank you, Bob. We'll see you back here in a few minutes. Bob Loud up next with sports. The Terps back in action trying to improve on their ranking.
Maryland looking like a pretty decent team tonight. Would they bounce back from last weekend's loss? We'll tell you next.
Salisbury State back in action tonight.
Trying to add on to their winning streak. They have been a team on a tear lately. Tonight, it was a showdown in the Capital Athletic Conference. At the start of the evening, Salisbury State was exactly one game out of the top spot, just behind Catholic. As luck would have it, was tonight's opponent. Tonight's was not exactly a spellbinder. Salisbury held to their lowest point total of the year. They fall to Catholic 81-55. Victor Jackson 16 points. Meanwhile, the Salisbury Lady Gulls, they were victorious over Catholic. They win 72-51. In the Division I ranks, the Maryland Terrapins were looking to climb up into a second-place tie in the conference. The Terps were also looking to bounce back from this weekend's loss to Temple. Georgia Tech was the lucky team Maryland would take their frustrations out on. At least that was the game plan, and indeed, they were just rolling all over them. Tough defense. Jason Collier fumbles, looking foolish. One Dixon the other way. 10 of the first 12 points for the Terps. Dixon would roll up a career-high 33, including that tray. Maryland rolls to the victory, 92-70. In high school hoops tonight, the boys of the Bayside were on the court in fours. Among the matchups, the Battle of Worcester County. Snow Hill and Stephen Decatur would tangle on the Eagles' home floor. We pick it up with Y-High's James Poorman. Going the other... Whoa, Y-High? This isn't Y-High. Oh, somebody didn't give me a shot sheet. That's Stephen Decatur scoring, going the other way. I know him, though. That's Shane Harmon with the big dunk. Shane had 18 points. Don't need a shot sheet for that. Back the other way, Decatur... You know, I don't have their rosters memorized, and, you know, they don't have the whole cool-looking dudes to help me out here. Snow Hill coming the other way. Suffice it to say, Snow Hill would win 86-63. Myron Waters, 21 points, 13 guys scoring for Snow Hill. Elsewhere in the Bayside, Pocomoke over Washington, 77-42. More out of the Bayside where, hey, we have shot sheets. Y-High's James Poorman gets the layup. But for Parkside, well, they're hanging in there. Chad Gravener looking to get in the post. Turns around for the lay-in. Man, it must be nice to have that kind of height. More out of Poorman for Y-High this time. Going a little reverse layup. Oh, so smooth. Y-High showing some nice passing as well. Bubby Brown on the receiving end. Yeah, that's pretty sharp. Nifty. Parkside gets their points. Brian Shipe is there, but Y-High was just too much. They win 63-42. Poorman closes with 24 points. Cambridge South Dorchester has two guys hitting 22 points as they win by 4 over Colonel. Sussex Central, 20 better than the Bridge. Cape Henlopen over Lake Forest. And James M. Bennett, 4 better than North Carolina, 59-55. A couple state championships were on the line in high school wrestling tonight. Del State was hosting the Delaware Dual Meet Championships with the Henlopen Conference pretty well represented. In fact, half the teams involved were out of our part of the state. We pick it up in the Division I semifinals where Cesar Rodney and St. Mark's were going at it. CR's Brian Palmer beaten up on Mark Murphy. The pin, 144 into the first period. The cheerleaders and the team were loving life here. Pick it up at 189. Cesar Rodney's Tony Harris against Jeff Aston. Harris, give him the takedown, give him a couple of back points as well. He was up 9-1 in the first period. Couldn't quite get the pin there, but with a little urging from his team, he picks up the pin here. It wouldn't be enough, though. St. Mark's wins in semifinal action, 32-21. In the other Division I semifinal, it was Sussex Central against William Penn. Oh, no. You want to go back to the other tape if I ask real nicely, please? Please? Oh, come on. I'll offer up my paycheck to go back to that last tape. We're looking at Sussex Central and William Penn. Central at 152. Brunshell That's Raheem Brunchell over Stony Graves. He would go on to win 4-2. William Penn was still in control of this match, though. 189 pounds. Central picks up another victory. Jake Booth, the winner over William Penn, Willie Singleton, but it wouldn't be enough. Penn advances to the finals 47-6. Milford against Hodgson, that one we do. Milford in the finals of Division II against Hodgson. The state championship on the line, 125 pounds. Richard Fisher, he would pick up the victory at 52, but Hodgson was still in the lead of this thing. Fisher, well, he would take the victory. Milford's Cliff Mumford involved as well. He would take the victory for Milford, but in the end, Hodgson would win your Division II state championship 44-16.
Thank you, Bob. Back in just a minute. Last look at tomorrow's weather.
We've had our ups and downs with temperatures Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, tomorrow's a down day despite the sunshine. And then for Friday, we're going to have possibly some mixed precipitation and a good deal of rain.
So sort of an up, down, down. Okay. Oh, well. Knew it had to end sometime. That is it for us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night.
This has been a presentation of WBOC News, winner of the Associated Press and the Radio Television News Director Association's Regional Awards for overall excellence.